Warning, if you don't like spoilers, do not watch the video.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Some Film Snobs. My name is Matt.
My name is Sean. And this is...
Yeah, it's been a while. Oh, fuck me. See? Alright, we're back to normal already.
Alright.
I'm waiting.
Oh, I didn't realize you were waiting on me.
Yeah, you were saying something.
No, what were you gonna say?
I don't know, I said it's been a long time since we've done this type of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time.
Yeah,
I'm happy
like
that we're able to bring this show back. And we're gonna bring it back to its former glory. So we're gonna do two films today. We're gonna do a film called Mank. And we're gonna do a film called Stardust?
Yes, Stardust.
Okay.
And that's my time to shine. Just like the podcast. Where
But
I have my corner to shine in.
First, we're gonna do Mank. Matt, your general thoughts, real quick. Your real quick, non-spoilery thoughts on Mank.
It's a fine movie. Yeah, that's really it. Really, it's typical Matt Smith, like quick thoughts. It's a fine movie. It was fine.
It's like that Scott the Wise clip. It was fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because I don't have a pumpkin license, so.
I guess I should go with my thoughts then. It was good.
Sure.
Not very good, but I would say it's far from mediocre or bad. I don't know, on our show, did we go into the plots too much?
No, we didn't. I didn't go with any kind of plot. I could try my best. So it kind of goes into my first point. I expected this movie to be the making of Citizen Kane from the point of view of Herman Mankiewicz, from the writing process all the way to the filming and to the whole. And throughout, you see the controversy with the authorship question, and then they end at like the Academy Awards, and they could have a moment where Orson Welles, he rides in an elevator with William Randolph Hearst, asks him to see the premiere, and Hearst basically says no. And then as Hearst walks out the elevator, Orson Welles goes, "Boss, Charles Kane would have seen the movie." So I like it's a story I love that Orson Welles told, and I thought, that'd be a great moment. But instead the movie is about basically Herman Mankiewicz in the 1930s and his relationship with the Hearst family, which while it's interesting in a way, it also, I don't know, maybe it's just the presentation of it, it just didn't intrigue me as much as I thought it would.
Well, I feel like before we get into the negatives, because both you and I have some nitpicks with the film.
Exactly, yeah.
We should probably get into some positives, because there actually was some pretty good things about the movie.
I'd say so. I have a couple of my own.
I guess I'll start if you don't mind.
Sure, I don't mind. I usually take over, so it's fine.
It's okay. I like the film visually. Yeah. It's very much, for the most part, it's in line with most mid-30s, early 40s films. And it works. I
would say so.
It works favorably from a visual standpoint. The only thing that isn't really in 1930s or 40s is the aspect ratio, but that's just me being a nitpicky freaking goob.
Funny thing is, I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, everything falls in line with a 40s film, but they had to do 2:39. And the funny thing is, even me, who loves the 2:39 aspect ratio to death, would use it in everything, even I would go 4:3 for this movie.
But it didn't, like, intrude, like, on the actual story itself, and I think it worked, like, cinematography-wise, that they did this.
Yeah. And even then, you could chalk it up to, it's a movie made when like in the 60s about the 40s or some stupid thing like that, but like you could at least, if you wanted to bullshit, you could easily justify it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or you could also or if you're me, just say, it looks nice. They do a good job with everything else. Who cares that the aspect ratio is inaccurate? I don't care.
Yeah.
Even though I said, it's funny, I just said that I would prefer doing it the way it was, and yet I don't mind it being so.
Yeah.
I'm a contradiction in a person.
But I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I guess what was a positive for you, Matt?
For me, I liked a lot of the performances. The acting was good, especially from our lead, Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah.
He's
the acting was
phenomenal.
That was another one of my positives.
Yeah, he's quite this intelligent, charming kind of writer of the world, almost, who is able to cut people down with just a few well-chosen words.
And like looking at pictures, while I couldn't really see like how Gary Oldman looked similar to Mankiewicz,
yeah,
it didn't like bother me because his acting was so good. Like yeah.
It also could just be the fact that it's not Orson Welles.
Oh yeah, Orson Welles too.
Orson Welles is in the movie. He looks enough like the guy he picked. Looks enough like Orson Welles to like you don't care.
Sounds like Orson Welles.
Definitely, my God, it was incredible, and I wish I could sound like Orson Welles because I'd love to play him in the picture now. A new obsession. But with Herman Mankiewicz, he's not unknown, but like visually, he isn't like a big face in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it helps too. He's not like a lot of the biopics we're getting now. On like, there's a Bee Gees biopic in the works.
Oh, is there really?
Yeah. Also, it's not like Stardust, which we'll get to. But boy, does it ever. Do I ever have an explanation for my point of view on that? Is there anything you found like distinctly positive in this movie?
Distinctly positive with Mank?
Yeah.
Well, I guess one of the things I really liked that was pretty distinct was the soundtrack from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Ah, yeah. How long have has Fincher been collaborating with Reznor?
David Fincher with Reznor? I don't really know, but like...
Because I know that they did work on The Social Network.
Oh yeah, that's right, they did. You know what? I forgot about that, but
Yeah, that's what... Yeah, because it's funny, I don't listen to Nine Inch Nails, but that doesn't mean I can appreciate the work.
No, Trent Reznor as a movie composer, along with Atticus Ross, because you got to give them both credit. They're both really good collaborators, and a lot of their scores, you can tell they were trying to make their scores fit within the universe of the movie, and that's what this movie does incredibly well with its soundtrack. Is it fits incredibly well with the universe it's trying to portray. And it never felt it never felt intrusive. It never felt intrusive in the slightest.
I agree. It fit. It was like the right kind of background music where it stood out but not jarring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you noticed it, but you didn't mind. It didn't like, oh my God, the music is so. It fit.
Music's too bombastic for something too.
Yes. Hans Zimmer put in a few too many bras. Yeah, that's it. It's funny enough, I was going to mention that. Also, I liked Lily Collins in the movie as Rita Alexander.
Oh yeah, Lily Collins was pretty good.
Yeah, she was. She was like a really good like stand-up person. She wasn't just some person that would easily back down or basically. She didn't put up with bullshit, and I appreciate a character like that in a movie like this.
It's funny because, like, I don't really think a lot of the characters in this movie really stood out, but her character and Mank...
Even Marion, I know who I'm talking about. Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah.
She stood out too. Marion, Davies, I think it was.
I'm gonna sound like
if I'm wrong, I apologize. Listen, I at least know that I at least have a feeling I'm wrong, I'm confident that I'm wrong. Alright, is there anything else positive you want to talk about, or shall we go into the negatives and quotes? Because like
I feel like we should probably go into the negatives because while there isn't too many, at least for me, there was some things that kind of were just like,
Yeah, that's how I feel about the
do you want me to go first for this?
I can go first for this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because it's like a bad badminton match where we switch. That's not how badminton works, probably. Yeah. Anyway, for me, this movie doesn't really care about either Citizen Kane or Orson Welles. Like, they're barely really any focus in this movie.
That's how I felt too.
I'm not saying. Oh, really? Okay. Because I was gonna say, it's not that I expect Orson Welles to be the main character or so important that he towers over Mank in terms of importance. But I guess I expected more than, like, a couple scenes here and there with Orson Welles, and more than a couple references to Citizen Kane. I expected, like, a movie that mixed, like, that basically went over the script, and by going over the script, went over some of the influences, but, like, you saw still Citizen Kane. You saw the making of Citizen Kane, not, here's the events that may have led to, or did lead to, Citizen Kane.
Yeah, because, like, the way the plot summary on, like, every website has made the movie seem, it seemed like they were trying to make it so that it was about the writing itself of Citizen Kane and how the movie was written. And
the thing is,
that was where my main interest lied. For me,
the only one that was accurate.
You know what? I'll let you finish before I get into.
Thank you. Yeah. Because the only one that's accurate, I believe, is there's one on IMDb which is the 1930s are examined through the eyes of Herman J. Mankiewicz. It's like, yeah, that's the movie.
Yeah, that's the movie. That's
actually the movie. Yeah.
If you like what you're seeing, make sure to leave a like. If you want more content, then make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get all the latest updates. Thank you very much, and enjoy.
So yeah, go ahead.
To me, I mean, before I get into my other negative, flashbacks, the thing is, they're consistent throughout this movie. They are very consistent.
Inconsistent? Oh, consistent, okay, good.
Or constant is what I meant to say.
Constant and consistent. Like,
which, I mean, it wouldn't be a horrible thing, but to me, it kind of feels like it's too much at times. Like...
I see what you... I think the thing is, the main story should have been in the flashbacks, with like a couple flash forwards, not...
Yeah.
Confused on where it is.
To me, the flashbacks, some of them don't really correlate with what I thought the main goal of the film was supposed to be. Which was about, you know, the finishing of the screenplay for Citizen Kane.
Yeah, you would think that would be the case, but, like, the whole... I mean, in a way, I guess the subplot with Upton Sinclair and whoever the other candidate was, because, you know, I went to high school, I heard about the jungle, and I heard about Teddy Roosevelt spitting out his breakfast sausage.
Well, I mean, like some of it did correlate, but, like, some of it was just kind of like, how does this connect to...
Like, yeah. Like, give me an example, maybe I could see what that's like.
I don't know. There's that scene where, like, Herman and, you know, his friend. My names are getting confused right now. Are, like, walking through, like, looking at a bunch of animals and stuff like that.
Yeah, you mean at the Hearst estate? At
the Hearst estate, yeah. Thank you. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's Marion. That's Marion.
Yeah, Marion. I don't know why I'm getting my names confused right now. I'm so sorry.
I barely know. I think there's Joe Mankiewicz. That's the brother, and I remember Joe, Rita, Orson Welles, Mank, and Marion, and of course William Randolph Hearst.
Yeah,
because he was a side character in actually a pretty important character in the second season of The Alienist.
Oh, yeah.
Funny enough, so, like, William Randolph Hearst has gotten a bit of exposure lately.
Well, it's just, like, I don't really know how that scene correlated to writing the screenplay of Citizen Kane, because I felt like this movie was supposed to be flashbacks that correlated to the writing of Citizen Kane.
I feel like the main focus was supposed to be on, if anything, it should have been on that time, maybe?
Maybe?
Fully, and like, maybe end with him, like, towards the tail end of the movie, he has the car accident, and Orson Welles offers him the screenplay, and the third act is about the making of the screenplay, I guess, because, like, I feel like, and there's flashbacks to other key events in his past that are more specifically Kane-oriented.
Yeah.
That could probably be better.
And
so maybe it has less to do with the story they're telling as much as the way it's being told.
I guess this kind of leads into my other point, and I don't really think this film worked too amazingly as a character study.
No, not really, I guess.
Which is what I guess this film was trying to do, because
you would think.
I felt like Mankiewicz could have been developed more as a character.
Well, yeah.
He just seems kind of stale. And his character just kind of lacks substance, in many scenes.
The thing is, I feel like the movie... I bet you when he was younger, he was a different person, and even though that would have been a much longer movie, I feel like a longer movie would probably help, because then you can go into the early years of Mank.
I agree.
Going into the early years, you see this young, maybe young idealistic. I don't know Herman Mankiewicz. I don't know his biography as well as some other figures that I know. For one thing, I just basically learned about him when this movie started coming up. It's like, I knew he had written Citizen Kane. I did know that. But I was interested to learn a little more, but didn't get as much as I wanted. Or what I wanted, I guess.
Yeah. And I just feel that way with a lot of characters in the film. Like, there wasn't really a lot of character development. Like,
no.
I know this film was based around real people, but at the same time, I feel like the film expects you to already know who most of these people are.
Exactly. It's like, I guess kind of like Bohemian Rhapsody, I guess.
Yeah, but at least, like, the thing is with, like, Bohemian Rhapsody, there's, like, this, you know, huge fan relation to that. Like,
and also they're
you don't have to be a huge fan of Queen in order to watch and get everything that's going on within Bohemian Rhapsody.
Pretty much. And even then, I was going to say they have an arc of some kind. Well, Brian, Roger, and John don't really have an arc, but Freddie has an arc of some kind.
But you still know who they are, because...
Exactly, too.
They're huge contributors to Queen themselves. And
yes.
The movie makes it known. Like... The thing is, with this movie, it kind of feels like... kind of empty, you know?
A little. I knew who some of the people were. I knew William Randolph Hearst because...
Well, yeah, I knew him. But, yeah. Like...
And I knew Louis B. Mayer. I knew vaguely about Louis B. Mayer, and, like, even the worst thing he's done in this movie, it could be worse. He didn't exactly treat some of his young stars very well.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Judy Garland, the poor woman got terrible treatment when she was young. Just awful. And, yeah, so Louis B. Mayer is is an interesting subject. Terrible person, but still an interesting subject. I have a couple things I want to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
One last thing. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is this film basically tries to, like, argue basically that Herman J. Mankiewicz was the writer of Citizen Kane, and that Orson Welles kind of did nothing with it. Maybe very little with it. So that the shared screenwrite credit is ridiculous. That's my impression of the ending, where it's like you got the award ceremony where they couldn't get the award because they weren't there. You have Orson Welles say something about it, and then, like, you get the last shot of Mank, and he's like, Orson didn't do any of it. I don't think he said that exactly, but something like that.
Something similar, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, why do you get credit? Movie magic. Come here, Jack Fincher. Come here. It turns out that Orson Welles actually did a lot of work on the later drafts of Citizen Kane. A little bit of redoing, a little bit of shortening, a little bit of... probably even changing some dialogue.
Yeah.
While they made the movie. So Orson Welles, he doesn't deserve top credit. He didn't do a lot of the work. Herman Mankiewicz wrote the first two drafts. He did all the work. The initial work. So he deserves top billing, top credit, and besides, alphabetically, he comes first, no matter if you go through first or last name.
Yeah.
But Orson Welles deserves credit. He did work on the thing. Basically, from what I've even heard that the original script was even more anti-Welles, and it makes me think, Jack Fincher decided, okay, there's this book, the Citizen Kane book, by Pauline Kael. It all started from this article she wrote called Raising Kane, and basically she said, fuck Orson Welles, Herman Mankiewicz is the writer. I almost think that the earlier draft was that. It's just that article in movie form. But I'm making this up as I go along, to be fully honest with you, except for all the other information. The only part that's made up here is that maybe the earlier draft was basically a movie adaptation of Raising Kane. I don't know. It's more likely that it had shared the same opinions, but was not a movie adaptation of that.
The history itself of the Citizen Kane, like, screenwriting and stuff like that is a huge rabbit hole you can go down.
Exactly, but I gotta tell you, I'm gonna try and make an Orson Welles movie. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. When you'll know it's my movie, because it basically will say that Herman Mankiewicz wrote the first two drafts, and Orson Welles did some rewrite work on it. It's not gonna say that Welles did nothing and didn't deserve the co-credit. and it's going to focus on Orson Welles' life mostly, with the entire second half of the movie dedicated to Citizen Kane. In fact, better yet, the last 2/3. Part 1, the first third is some of his earlier, like, stage work, getting into Hollywood, and then the next third is the making of the film, and even the last 2/3, making a Citizen Kane, with, as well as the reception, all the trying to get the film released while Hearst is holding it back, and not allowing newspapers to talk about it. All that stuff could be the last part of the movie, and then you could have your ending, your kind of victorious ending, where it's the premiere, Orson Welles in the elevator with William Randolph Hearst, and then that comment he makes, and there you go. That's the movie. You see Orson with that smug smile, knowing he got him. He checkmated his ass. That's the best way to put it.
Well, I guess we have talked a lot about this movie. A lot more than I thought we would, to be honest.
I'm okay with that. It's Film Snobs. We intend to go with a 5-minute review. Next minute, it's an hour long.
So, what were your, I guess, we're going back, or for your final thoughts? Like...
Final thoughts? It's a fine movie. It is really, it's that. There are good performances from the cast, particularly Gary Oldman, Amanda Seyfried, Lily Collins. And the story is interesting, but at the same time, I feel like it's not presented well. Like, I feel like with a different director, or... The thing is, this is Jack Fincher is David Fincher's late father, and I know I basically just attacked a dead man. I'm a terrible human being, but I feel like it's hard to change a lot or improve or whatever you want to call it a work made by a late relative. That has to be hard. I have to remind myself that yes, this isn't just something that some other writer did. This is his father, so it had to be hard to make that film.
So,
you know, so
thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs in the middle, basically. It's a middle. Like,
so sideways thumb.
There are good things. Sideways thumb, yeah. It's good at times, but then there's just stuff that holds it back. The lack of examining Citizen Kane, at least from what I've seen, is that. And all right, what are your opinion? What's your thumb?
Well, while I feel the film needed some work, especially within the fields of character development and maybe a bit of restructuring to cut down some of the flashbacks, I believe, that weren't really necessary.
Yeah.
I'll still give the film a thumbs up, but it barely gets that thumbs up. And if I were to give it a star rating, probably like a 3 out of 4, like a 75%.
Okay, so
like,
I would...
This certainly isn't David Fincher's best film, and I am a David Fincher fan.
I am a very light David Fincher fan. I've only seen The Social Network.
But...
like, in full. And I've seen clips of other films and thought, yeah, he's good. The only one
it is definitely still worthy of a look. At least once. Like, this is one of those movies I'm never going to watch again. But...
probably not, no. I didn't even watch it to do the thing. I watched it once and remember what I could remember.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's basically me. So... well, I guess...
there we go.
Well, after we take our short break, we'll move on to Matt talking about Stardust.